Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vivel Talks episode 20. It's almost 20. We are counting down for our Sevilla event, and today we are hosting one of our workshop facilitators, Ania. Hi, Ania, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me today. I'm very well. Greetings from Malaga, uh, which is actually not that far from Sevilla, so I will have an easy ride for sure.
Yeah, you will have a short travel. You're
Yeah,
lucky.
yes, I am.
Lars, where are you?
I'm in Bansko, so after being in the Netherlands for the last few episodes, I'm now in Bansko. So back home for me.
Okay. Now when I'm just like thinking about what we did last week, like the brainstorming session, I wish we had one of these sessions together, maybe like a conversational one. We totally missed that one. I was last week in Bansko and we had that, one-to-one brainstorming sessions with Lars last week, just like
Mhm.
doing the final checks with the event. And Anya, let's start with your background. You are a freelancer consultant. You help individuals thrive in the freelancing economy, just help them and hold hands with
Yes.
them. How did that start with you? What is your story?
Oh wow. Okay, so I started freelancing maybe 8 years ago, and it was shortly after I realized that I don't like working in a corporation, and I really wanted, like, I got my first job in London after graduating, and after 3 months, I knew that this is not a space for me. So I quit my job, although I didn't have a plan B at all. And what people do when they quit their job and they don't know what to do, they travel, right? So I took I think just 1 month, 1 or 2 months, just to travel and reconnect with my friends, and to gather their opinions, and to maybe have a little bit more space to think about what I actually want to do in my life. And as you probably visited London, there's not much space there to think. So I actually went to Turkey to visit my dear friends, also Istanbul and Izmir, and I was hanging out there, and I just realized that, yeah, I think I want to work for myself. I don't know how it's going to look like, and I don't know what I will do, because I didn't have much experience in, like, professional experience yet. But at some point, I just found my way, and I started freelancing. And yeah, it took me around maybe 1 2 years until one company approached me. They found me online, and they were impressed by my portfolio, by my experience. I was working in business management and project management, and they asked me to mentor groups for them and to teach people how to freelance, how to find freelance clients, and how to organize yourself as a fresh freelancer. Fast forward, and yeah, I think, like, after a few years working with them, I realized that maybe I can do it by myself as well, and I started getting interested in coaching. So I did my coaching certification, and yeah, and then I started working with individuals on a one-on-one basis, with smaller groups, and yeah, this is how I grew my freelance business.
So when you started your career as a freelancer, and you told us now that they reached out to you, find you online. What was that platform, or like how did you build your presence as a freelancer so that they could reach out to you online?
So there was this is the Upwork.com. I don't know if you've heard about it, but this is like the biggest
I
global.
was I was their country representative. I was the country representative for Elance back then. Then they merged with Otis and became Upwork, so I was part of their program.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I joined Upwork in 2014 or 15, and it was already a bit busy, but not as busy as now. And it was an interesting experience for me, because there was a time when I was looking for the things that I can do online, and I went on I decided that London can give us for sure one thing: a lot of networking events. And I decided that I'm going to listen to people who are more experienced and smarter than me about what I can actually do. And there was a representative from Upwork having a short presentation saying, "Hi guys, you can actually like set up for your profile and you can do literally almost everything online." And I was like, whoa, okay, that sounds easy. So I set up my profile, and well, then I realized, okay, I know a little bit of social media, a little bit of admin, a little bit of marketing. So I can definitely support online business owners. And this is how I started. Yeah. So Upwork was the platform.
Yeah. So probably he was one of my team members because
Yeah.
like we had that program, because back then, as you say, it wasn't as crowded as it is now. It was much easier to find a job as well, to create your presence, to build reputation. And talking about reputation, can you talk a bit about what it takes to build that reputation in freelancing marketplaces? Because it's, I think, the most important thing when you are just like working as a freelancer, trying to create that credibility, to build the customer, the client base. Can you just like, tell us a bit about how to build that?
Well, so of course, the most difficult and important step is to find your first few clients. Yeah, that's the most challenging thing. And this is when my clients are coming to me saying that, yeah, I have already some corporate experience, I have a talent, I have a specialization, but I've never worked for myself. I had always have an employer. So yeah, let's get to those few clients. And so yeah, that you need to put some effort into that. It takes a few months before you start getting your first clients. But like once you have this 2 or 3 clients, you already have an experience and you already have a testimonial, a reference, where your future clients will look back into your experience and the fact that someone said something positive about you. So you can start from there. Obviously, another thing is that I'm always telling my clients who are just starting, or even though for those who are having already some experience, is that it's good to start building your personal brand right away. So using any kind of social media that you are interested in, and also that your potential clients are there. So LinkedIn, very often LinkedIn is very good because it's a professional social media. And then you can start showing up and writing, showing, recording something about your experience. And it usually takes some time until you build a reputation. So I always tell my clients to start right away, small steps. It's always very intimidating to show up and express your expertise. So yeah, they have some help from me, their coach, or maybe other coaches or other peer groups, where they can start getting a little bit more confidence into creating content and showing up, so that the clients ultimately will find them, because ultimately this is what we want. We don't want to really sit for hours and apply for jobs on Upwork, which is like something that it's fairly easy to start with because you have a pool of jobs and then you can apply. But then we want to grow our reputation, our brand, so that we open our laptop and we have a few invitations for an interview or for a call. So that's a very convenient moment in a freelance life, and this is what I'm always advising to start with. Yeah.
I think you cover two points that I think are very essential. First is when you quit your job, you let intuition take its place, and just you went with whatever felt right for you. And I think that's led you to finding this. And I think that people sometimes want to hold on to that control, and in that they always feel like, oh, I need something. Sometimes it's not about needing something. It's about letting that go so that the right things come to you. And then actually you already had that in you, because when you went to the Upwork, you were trying to manifest the fact that, okay, I need social proof to be able to bring people, to not have to be like continuously outputting energy, you are trying to invite that in. So I think that you have a trend, right? One is more lifestyle related, when you were like seeing like, oh, where am I gonna go? And the other one is more professional related. It's like the people that are actually able to attract energy rather than go chase energy are the ones that I think can grow in that way and can start working for themselves instead of maybe working for someone else. So I think that that's like what stood out when I listened, is like there is a trend in being able to attract energy rather than chase energy, because I think that that's what a lot of people do in this world, because they think that they cannot just be, they think that they always have to be doing stuff. So I find that inspiring, and I think other people should definitely trust in themselves to be able to let things come to them, and be confident in the expertise or the gifts that you have. And I think that what a coach could do really well is identify what those gifts might be if you're not sure what that looks like. And I think that that's part of the freelancer economy that I think is developing over the past 5 to 10 years. And I think it's only going to grow even more. I think that we won't have big corporations too much in the future. I think it's going to all be broken down into very specific niches that people will tap into. So I find it inspiring to hear like your journey, and I think other people can trust that they can do something similar too.
Thank you.
And on that side, I would like to ask you one thing, because I think this is most people's concern when they have this feeling, kind of like the urge to start freelancing, but not sure about how to just like step to that side of the world. So is freelancing only about short-term projects, or can they lead to long-term and more stable projects with clients as well?
Oh no, right now freelancing is a completely different and like not even any more alternative way of working. It's becoming a mainstream, which means that you have different offers and different types of contracts. So you can work short term and you can work long term. And of course, for freelancers, is because the nature of this type of job is, it's kind of like well, the stability is not present at the beginning. Of course, we want to invest in clients and opportunities that are more stable. So me as a freelancer, I very quickly realized that these short-lived projects that are one-off or that last few hours or 1 week, they are not very sustainable for my business and for my mental health and my nerves. That's why I started looking for like clients who seem to give me a possibility to be a long-term clients or repeating clients, because some like nature of some of jobs, like let's say for people who create websites, is that they are shorter lived, because you just create a product, which is a website, and then it finishes. But when the client is happy, he will hire you again, right? And also we have other jobs that are more managerial jobs, where you can look for long-term clients. And more big companies, small of course, medium and bigger companies, they see the talent in freelancers, and they always create, well, more and more create some kind of space and pool of job opportunities just for contractors. So it is not unusual to work with people from Meta, people from Apple as a contractor. Yeah, so these opportunities are growing, and also these big companies are realizing that freelancers, because we are independent, we know that we need to invest in our own growth, and there is some level of competition. We invest in our professional and personal growth, which means we are always on time, we are always keeping up with trends. So it's great to collaborate with this type of worker.
So you touch very important points, and that brings me to the skill side. And since you are also coaching people to become successful freelancers, what, in your opinion, are the key skills that a person needs to have to be a successful freelancer? And can everyone be a freelancer?
I mean, everybody can be a freelancer if they want. However, some people maybe need more people and team in order to feel better at work. Lots of responsibilities as a freelancers are connected to individual work, which is not always the case, but at the beginning, I think so. So working on your own is the thing that you need to master, first of all, and second of all. I mean, this skill, it's already developing since the pandemic because a lot of people started to work in their own houses and work online. But there is a little bit different work ethics and etiquette when you actually work online because versus working in the office. Because your manager, let's say we have a manager and here we have a client. This is a little bit different dynamics. So our manager will check in with us with like once a day, will ask us if we need anything, if we need any resources. And here we have a client that hired you because you promised something. So now on a daily basis, you need to show that his decision was good. So it means that you not only, of course, deliver the promise that this a service or a product, but also you deliver which something that I call a customer experience and customer service and a good customer service. So you are communicating constantly about what you're doing, where the resources are going, right? Because client might be paying you, and he's really wondering where this money are going to, right? And so like a constant communication and just making sure that the client know what you're doing on a daily or weekly basis. So you need to also pay attention on top of the fact that you are working on something that you promise. You just also need to have a good interpersonal skills, I would say, so that the client is happy with your communication, because client can't really see you. Usually we are working online from maybe different even continents, so they can't check in with you like physically. So you need to be responsible for a communication. And I think that this is the most important skill to master as a freelancer. Otherwise, most of the skills right now, most of the jobs you can do online. So if you are talented and experienced in something and you worked for a company as an employee before, you can transfer these skills to your freelance business with no really any challenges. Yeah.
So if you take, so that's the skill set side of things, but what about the personality side of things? So what do you feel like are, like, when the people that you coach, like, is there a common denominator in the personality type of in people that feel like there can be maybe more in line with going this direction? Because it takes a lot of responsibility on yourself. Like, I think, I mean, an entrepreneur knows this, but I think like a freelancer is like a small entrepreneur or a solopreneur, however you want to call it. So what are the personality traits that you would say are like more that the types of people that you feel like are in your coaching business, or people that are more interested in that type of thing? Do you feel like there's a common ground between the personality traits from those people?
For sure, and I wouldn't say it's far from an entrepreneur. I think many entrepreneurs started as freelancers because this is like a, let's say, less risky way to see how you can work independently. And many of my clients started as freelancers, and now they have like their agencies, so they are entrepreneurs in a way. And the common ground here is for sure people who value freedom and flexibility more in their life than comfort and safety. So that's the thing. Many of my clients are either digital nomads or expats, so they want to live in different country. Maybe this country is a nice tropical country that wouldn't give them this opportunity locally to work. That's why they need to work for themselves in order to have this flexibility. And yeah, so people who really love freedom, so they are free to choose how much they want to work, with who they want to work, how long they want to work, and where they want to work. So that's the common thing. And they are adventurers. Many often they are people who like to take risks, and they are curious about what will this business unfold, and they like to experiment. And this is also fun for me to see, how they are tapping into this unknown, because although there are some certain methods to step by step grow your freelance business, it's always a big mystery, because on the go we are discovering new skills, new passions, new ways of promoting, new ways of growing business, new ways of creating content, and this is so fascinating for me, and I think for my clients. So yeah, there are a few common grounds there.
So I would like to come to your connection with Vivel. How did Vivel resonate with what you have been doing in your life, and so that you wanted to become part of the community?
Yeah. So Vivel was recommended by my dear friend, and because I am also a digital nomad, and I like to travel, and I like to connect with people, and I love gatherings, I love networking events, I love conferences and festivals. So I learned that Vivel is a place where I can connect with people, I can dance, which I also love. I can see a new place, or I can revisit a place that I like, and I can connect with people, and I can also share what I know, and I can also learn from others. So for me, it was a no-brainer when I heard this from her, and I also value her opinion. So yeah, I connected with Lars, and we had a nice conversation about me joining Vivel, and yeah, it is a beautiful opportunity, and I can't wait to meet you guys in person.
So I have a question that I am really excited to hear their answer. And
Yeah.
I mean, for the audience, we have not rehearsed any part of the conversation. It's totally casual, natural. What did your friend tell you about Vivel that made you intrigued about and just like excited about joining it?
Yeah, so she said exactly what I just told you. She said that she visited at a previous event, and she said that she connected with wonderful people, and it is not too big event, and because of that you can actually dive deeper in conversations, and actually meet people, and there's a big chance that many of these people will be your friends. So I'm like, I'm going. Yeah.
I was really curious to hear about that because what we are trying to do is exactly that too. I mean, that was the original idea that both of us had to create those deeper connections within the community. Because, like, wherever we go with any of the conferences, they are so big that you don't get to know people at a deeper level. And so, this is what we are trying to create at Vival, so that all of our community members, when they come together, that they have this deeper connection, the authentic connection, and they're coming there not with their business cards or their titles, but like as they are, as who they are. And so that's really the secret sauce of Vival. So it's great to hear that, and I was so curious to hear that answer because that's exactly the same response we got from our community members after Cappadocia. So for people who are watching it live or who will watch it later on, if you're interested to become part of the Vivel community, this is the link. You can just like sign up, add your email so that you stay tuned with all the updates about our community. Even if you cannot make it this time, we have the third episode in Cappadocia again in May from 21st to 23rd of May. And we still have some local tickets left without accommodation. So if you're interested to join us at Sevilla, you can still purchase tickets without accommodation, but enjoy the full event, be with us with our community members. And so this is the email address. So if you're interested in doing any partnerships, being part of it, because we're all about co-creation. We would love to co-create any elements of the event with you. And before we wrap up, Ania, I would like to ask you about your workshop at Vival. So what should people expect from your workshop? Because we will have different kinds of workshops. Why should they come to your workshop?
So it is an interesting workshop because the title is The Power of Tantra in Life and Work. So yeah, I didn't talk about it yet, but Tantra as a spiritual technology is very present in my life for a few years right now. And I decided to create an experiential workshop where we will discover how tantric philosophy and methods can help people in life and work. So why should they join? I mean, we are going to co-create experiences there. I'm going to explain what is tantra about, because many people have many different opinions and knowledge about it based on very limited answers that you can find on Google. But I'm going to explore that and explain, how you can actually tap into tantric methodologies and techniques that help people to balance their life, first of all, that help people to go into the path of self-discovery and also learn how to relate better with themselves and others. So there will be different layers into that, but most of the things in these workshops will be not intellectual, will be more experiential, will be a lot of movement, embodiment, and feeling. And I'm leaving you to this mystery right now.
That sounds really interesting. I'm so much looking forward to attending your workshop when we're in Sevilla. Darcy, you want to add anything else before we wrap up?
I think that the key message that I feel like we should take from just this conversation, but I just think in general is like sometimes it's all about the organic things that exist, right? Anya learns about what we do through someone else who experienced it, and that's like the ripple effect of like people knowing. And Anya might be sharing how her experience was to the next person, and that's how I believe communities should grow. And I think that's the way where it would never feel like that big conference where you lacked the connection with people. And then a workshop like what Anya will be facilitating, it will be, let's say, 10 to 12 people. So it feels very intimate. You have the ability to really get to know everyone on a familiarity level, and that will kickstart the rest of your event, right? I think that most people underestimate the power of connection early on in the event, where it's not something that you feel like, oh, I need to pitch my idea in 1 minute to everyone. It's more so, can I connect on a personal level? So I think that the two things that we can look forward to in this is like, see what organically comes to you and follow that path to be able to actually understand what it is that you personally, what drives you. And I think that I hope like the people that will attend the workshop will take something from that that's going to make them let go a bit more so that they can go on a path that fits them. So that would be like my thoughts based on this conversation. So yeah, thank you for joining, and yeah, look forward to seeing you in person. And I hope that people who even are listening in from like Spain, like I think what we also all about is like, yes, the organic people coming from like our connections or indirect connections, but also locals that might never have tapped into this. I really, if there's anyone listening from Sevilla or that area, I think it's very relevant to tap into global mentality. And like you can act locally, but you have to think more globally. And I hope that people will do that and join us too, because I think it's not just about being this digital nomad, borderless, global mentality. We should also support whatever is happening locally and maybe inspire them. So I think that that's another element I really would love to see come back in this event, to be able to bridge that gap between the lifestyle we already know and maybe some of the things that people locally can teach us about the culture that is over there. So I think that that can be a very special blend of energies that will happen in December. So I'm excited, and I'm very glad you're a part of it too.
Thank you.
100%. And so I just shared the link again for anyone who's just in Spain or who will be in Spain during those days. And to remind you of the dates, we will be having our second episode of Vivel in Sevilla between 12th to 14th of December. So if you happen to be in that area, you're more than welcome to join us and have the luxury of meeting our community members in person. Thank you, Anya. It was really nice having you on our live stream, and we are so much looking forward to meeting you in person in Sevilla. And until the next one, please stay tuned. By the way, follow us on LinkedIn as well, because we will be having these live streams until the event and even after the event with our partners, with our facilitators and speakers. So if you want to learn more about our community members, stay tuned and follow us on LinkedIn Lives. Okay, everyone, thank you so much and see you.
See you. Bye bye.